would like to explain a little more to you about all the changes we've made to the field area. The field area is really the foundation of most of your component, as it is what actually causes many of the behavior and concepts which you might have in your views are all based on the field. So the field area was a difficult place to change, and it is still in progress. So of this video, the interface most probably won't change much, just little tweaks here and there, but the back end of how we deal with the data, we're most certainly going to continue improving that. Just to give you a quick recap of how it used to look, if we go to an older install of JCB, and I say let's open a field here. So if we open the alias here, we would see that it has this XML field definition area. And so in the past it was very easy to leave out maybe a anything by accident, change something and then it breaks. So that was a little bit we had a lot of freedom, and as developers I'm sure this didn't feel in any way to be a problem. I mean, whatever you selected, we built the XML for you and you could just adapt it as you please. Yet since we are trying to make JCB more stable and obviously eventually much more user friendly, this new feature was suggested from inside of the team, and we've decided to add it. And so what did we do? We basically removed this XML definition and we've replaced it with a subform. We've moved the database values to its own tabs. We also moved the field information to its own tab. And so we add a lot of more structure and tools to the page, and I'm very sure you're going to be very happy to see the things we've done. So let's show you that. So as of version 2.7.5, which is the stable release of this change, you'll see that if we open that same alias which we did just now, you'd see it looks like this now. So you have a subform here, basically having those values in a subform layout, and you have now a whole lot of new information here. You've also got the database in its own tab, and then the type info is still available and you can still come and review. The reality is the new option still gives you the ability to select other and add of those fields which are not already on the page. So you could still say, okay, I want to add size here, and we still load the description of the field on the page and the default value, which you can then change, except like here when it tells you that it must be text. We have not yet blocked this field from being changed or being removed, though it's mandatory, so there's still a level of caution required. You could still break it although no, you can't really break it. Whatever is mandatory, if you actually do leave it out on compiling the component, we will detect that it's mandatory, and if you obviously didn't add a value, it will fall back to its default value. So that's how it currently behaves. But I wouldn't develop that way. Best practice is to put in the value and make sure that it's correct. So that's the new field area. We've put a lot of work into this, and there has been some hiccups and bugs which we have ironed out, predominantly all those we know about. We also added this new option. It's not yet, we haven't fully released some of the features, but there is this option who's going to sort of separate. If you use the custom field currently, it adds the PHP here in the rows, which is a little tedious if you want to change this to keep track of the open braces and all that in this way is a little challenging. So what we did and I can show you a little peek of that. It will be in version 2.7.6. So if you're watching this video after those releases, you possibly already have it. So the new, let me show you, click on new. This is now the new implementation for the custom fields and also for custom user. So you click on it, it actually takes the PHP and adds it to its own little text area. So now here you can easily follow and adapt the get options method PHP values, and that's quite more convenient, I suppose, than using one line at a time. So if we look at the user, you've got two fields then, one for the get exclude method and one for the get group method, and so they also immediately available to you. The other advantage with this implementation is we have this new extra properties option, which has been available in JCB for some time now, but many of you might not know that it exists. So there is this what we call list class. If you want to add a class like a CSS class value to this field when it appears in the list area, that is the let me show you this area. This is the list area. Well, any of the views where you see a list of items, and you want this value, specific value, to have a specific CSS class value, because maybe you want to style it somewhat different. Then you have this option to use. Basically all you'll do is you'll just say list class and you add there my class whatever you want to call it, and then it will add that class to the field in the list area, which is quite stunning. There's also the escape option, which if you escape a value, all the values are escaped by default. So if you want a value not to be escaped because you're going to maybe do some you maybe have values in it which, if it's escaped, gets stripped, like a span tag and stuff like that, you could say false here, and then the specific fields. Now when I say escaped, I mean in the list area. Again, this area, when there's a list value, then this is being escaped at the moment, and if you don't want that done, then you add this false escaped. The other option which is also available here is the display option. We'll still add some more documentation to this, but basically it's about when the field gets displayed in a config. You know, each component has a, let me see here, got this options area, right? And you can actually add fields to that option area. And when a field is added to the option area, it has implementation structures. You could have it show in the menu, you could have it show in various places. I'll make a tutorial about this specifically, but just to show you quickly that is also actually available here. And then last but not least, validate. Not all fields have the property to validate the value, but here is the validation rules, and you can basically add a validation to this field if that property is not available in the field type which you have selected. Now, if it is, we would suggest you add to the properties here at the top, and it actually says that. So if you have a validation set as a field property, this extra property will not be needed, because you could just use that one. Okay, so that's just a quick demonstration really of the new field area, and we trust that it will be as easy and as comfortable as we hoped it would be, that this change will not frustrate you but actually be great, because of the reason that, for example, one of the sort of unforeseen outcomes is if you have a field like this which already has all its values and you're thinking on changing it, and you say, well, let me just check how will text look. You can change it, and it really adds all your text values here with its defaults. And then if you say, no, I want to go back, you can actually just click back, and lo and behold, your old values are again added to the page, the values that were there originally. And that is even true if you were to remove a specific property, then want to add it back, it actually adds the original value back, which was what we intended, because by accident you might remove it and you want to just put it back, and it should be as easy as that. You could obviously still go to type info to see what could be the actual values, default values, and adapt them. So it's not like you don't have access to the default values. It's just that we want to recover your current saved value for you. And then whenever you add another field which isn't already here, this drop-down list only shows the fields that are not already on the page, so that you won't end up adding fields, properties, a second time. And yes, so now it's become much more easier, I suppose, to build fields based on its properties, as before you really had to navigate through some of the complexities of dealing with an XML set of values, which maybe some of you don't even know exactly what's going on here. And those of you that do, I mean, it's not like you're losing any advantage with the new implementation. You're still targeting that value with any value you want, and it's still as easy as clicking a plus and selecting a value and adding it. And so I do hope that all of you will be as excited about this change as we are, knowing that we are now at the point where making JCB easy to use is also a priority. Okay, well, thanks for watching.